Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling the green transition.
Okay.
More specifically, the people powering it.
Yeah.
We're talking about green talent,
Right.
the folks with the skills to, make our world more sustainable.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Think of it as the workforce driving us toward a greener economy.
And to understand just how this workforce is shaping up, we're taking a deep dive into LinkedIn's Understanding the Green Transition, Supply and Demand Dynamics report
Okay.
from September 2024.
Right.
One of the first things that jumped out at me was just how fast the demand for green talent is growing.
It really is remarkable.
Yeah.
The report shows a 5.9% average annual increase
Yeah.
globally between 2021 and 2024.
Okay.
That means that as of July 2024, 7.5% of all job postings on LinkedIn were green jobs.
Wow.
This isn't temporary trend.
Hmm.
It reflects a fundamental shift.
Yeah.
As industries adjust to sustainability goals set by agreements like the Paris Agreement
Right.
and changing government policies.
So it's not just about hugging trees anymore. It's about businesses realizing they need this talent to stay competitive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The report even breaks down the demand by country.
Mm-hmm.
What stood out to you there?
Well, the UK is a real hotspot,
Okay.
with 13% of job postings being green jobs.
Wow.
Ireland is right behind them at 12.4%,
Okay.
followed by Saudi Arabia,
Uh-huh.
Norway, and Switzerland.
Okay. So pretty diverse mix of...
Yeah, and what's fascinating is that the demand isn't just concentrated in a few wealthy nations.
Right.
We're seeing significant growth in countries all over the world.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a global issue after all.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any countries where the growth was particularly surprising?
Absolutely. Colombia, for instance, has seen a 34.6% compounded annual growth rate since 2021.
Wow.
Portugal is at 26.4%.
Okay.
And even the UK, which already had high demand, is still seeing a 19.6% growth rate.
Those are some serious numbers.
Yeah.
Imagine you're job hunting in those countries right now.
Right.
Talk about a competitive market.
Exactly.
The report actually defines green talent as anyone with green skills or working in a green or greening occupation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a broader range of roles than you might initially think.
We got it.
Yeah.
It's not just scientists and engineers.
Right.
It includes roles like sustainability consultants and renewable energy technicians,
Sure.
but also policy analysts and even marketing professionals working on green initiatives.
Okay.
Basically, anyone contributing to a more sustainable way of doing business can fall under this umbrella.
So it's a pretty diverse field.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that even though the supply of green talent is growing,
Mm-hmm.
it's not keeping pace with this demand.
Right.
The report shows a 5.6% increase globally
Yeah.
from 2023 to 2024.
Okay.
But that's still lagging behind that demand growth we just talked about.
Yeah.
What does this gap mean for the green transition overall?
This gap has serious implications. We could see worker shortages,
Uh-huh.
a slower transition to a sustainable economy, and potentially missed climate targets. This isn't just about jobs anymore. It's about our collective future.
That's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
So where are we seeing the highest concentrations of green talent currently?
As of 2024, Switzerland takes the lead,
Yeah.
with 21.8% of its workforce considered green talent.
Wow.
Austria is close behind at 21.4%,
Okay.
followed by Finland and Germany, both at 20.7%.
Okay.
And Luxembourg rounds out the top 5 at 19.7%.
You would think those countries would have less demand then, right?
It seems logical, but it's not always the case.
Oh, really?
For example, Finland has a high concentration of green talent,
Uh-huh.
but their demand actually decreased by 43.8% between 2023 and 2024.
Wow. That's unexpected.
Yeah.
What could explain a drop like that in a country with so much green talent?
It's likely due to a combination of factors.
Okay.
It could be that Finland's green sector is already relatively mature,
Okay.
meaning there's less room for rapid growth.
Mm-hmm.
Government policies,
Yeah.
industry saturation, or even shifts in economic priorities could also play a role.
So just having a lot of talent doesn't automatically solve the problem.
Right.
It seems like a lot of different forces are at play here.
Exactly.
And speaking of forces, the report also highlighted some countries where the gap between demand and supply is particularly large.
Okay.
They mentioned Portugal, the UK, Costa Rica, Luxembourg, and Singapore as facing the biggest gaps in 2023-2024.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in those places, and what could those gaps mean for them?
That's where things get particularly interesting.
Yeah.
It raises questions about whether they're investing enough in green skills development
Okay.
or attracting international talent.
Right.
If these gaps continue to widen, it could have a ripple effect on their entire green transition strategies.
It's almost like a bottleneck, forming high demand, but not enough skilled workers to fill the need.
Exactly.
And it sounds like this isn't just a short-term problem either.
Right.
The report projects that if current trends continue, the global demand-supply gap will reach 18.7% by 2030 and a staggering 101.5% by 2050.
Oh my goodness.
That means the demand could more than double the projected supply.
Exactly.
So we've established the problem.
Yeah.
Demand is skyrocketing, supply is struggling to keep up,
Okay.
and the gap has some potentially serious consequences.
Right.
What's the solution here? Is there any reason to be optimistic?
Absolutely. There's reason for optimism.
Okay.
The good news is that awareness of this green skills gap is growing,
Uh-huh.
and more organizations are beginning to recognize the need to invest in green skills development.
That's encouraging. So what needs to happen to bridge this gap?
Well,
We're talking about potentially doubling the current projected green talent supply by 2050,
right.
which seems like a massive undertaking.
It is a significant challenge.
Yeah.
It requires a multifaceted approach.
Okay.
A crucial first step is increasing investment in education and training programs, explicitly focused on green skills.
Okay.
Think university degrees, vocational courses, online certifications. The whole spectrum needs bolstering.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
More options for people to acquire those in-demand skills, but what about those already in the workforce? How can they transition into these greener roles?
That's a critical piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
We need a much stronger emphasis on upskilling and reskilling programs.
Okay.
Companies should invest in their current workforce, helping them acquire the knowledge and skills to thrive in a greener economy.
It's about empowerment, not starting from scratch.
Exactly.
The report mentions the demand-supply gap calculation is based on current trends. What factors could change those trends?
Oh, wait.
And maybe even accelerate the growth of green talent?
And that's a question I love.
Okay.
Technological advancements could be a game changer.
Okay.
Think about the rapid evolution of renewable energy technologies or the increasing sophistication of sustainable agriculture practices.
Right.
As these fields advance, they'll create entirely new job roles and skill sets.
So we're not just playing catch-up, we're preparing for jobs that don't even exist yet.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
need to be proactive,
Yeah.
anticipating those future needs and equipping people with the skills they'll need to succeed in a rapidly evolving green job market.
Okay.
This brings up another interesting point. The idea of greening occupations.
Right.
It's not just about brand new jobs. Existing jobs are becoming greener too.
You're right. I remember seeing that term in the report,
Yeah.
but they didn't really go into detail about what that means. Can
Yeah.
you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure.
What does it mean for an occupation to become greener?
Think of it as integrating sustainability into the DNA of a job.
Okay.
Take a marketing professional, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, their focus might have been solely on promoting products or services.
Right.
But as companies prioritize sustainability,
Yeah.
that marketer's role might evolve to include highlighting the environmental benefits of those offerings
Sure.
or developing campaigns that promote sustainable consumption.
So it's about taking existing skills and applying them to this new landscape.
Exactly.
That makes me think about someone like an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
How does their role change in a greener economy?
That's a great example.
Yeah.
An accountant's core skills in financial management and analysis are highly relevant to the green transition.
Cool.
They could specialize in areas like carbon accounting, where they help businesses track and reduce their carbon emissions,
Okay.
or green finance,
Yeah.
where they help companies secure funding for sustainable projects.
Right.
The technical skills are transferable. It's about applying them in this new context.
It sounds like there's a real opportunity here for individuals to get ahead of the curve
Yeah,
and position themselves for success in this emerging green economy.
absolutely.
What advice would you give to someone considering a move into the green sector?
Do your research.
Okay.
Understand the different sectors within the green economy and identify those that align with your interests and skills.
Right.
There are so many options. From renewable energy and sustainable agriculture
Okay.
to green finance and circular economy businesses.
Right.
Once you've narrowed your focus,
Yeah.
start exploring the specific skills in high demand in those fields.
So it's about being strategic and intentional, not just jumping on the green bandwagon without a clear direction.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The green transition needs passionate, skilled individuals committed to making a difference.
Right.
It's not just about chasing a paycheck. It's about contributing to a larger purpose.
I love that it's about aligning your values with a career that's also in high demand. A
Exactly.
win-win situation.
Yeah.
The report also mentioned the importance of global collaboration in addressing this skills gap. What does that look like practically?
It's about sharing best practices, knowledge, and resources across borders. Countries further along in their green transitions can share their experiences and lessons learned with those just starting. We could see more international partnerships and collaborations on green skills development initiatives.
So working together to accelerate the global transition towards a sustainable future. It makes sense. Let's bring this back to the individual level for a moment.
Okay.
What can someone do right now to make themselves more appealing to potential employers in the green sector?
Start building your green skills portfolio.
Okay.
Even if you're not currently in a green role.
Right.
There are tons of online courses and certifications available that can help you gain valuable knowledge in areas like renewable energy, sustainable business practices, or climate change mitigation.
Okay.
There are even ways to green your current role.
I like the sound of that.
Okay.
How can someone green a job that isn't traditionally considered part of the green sector?
It's about thinking critically about how sustainability principles can be applied in your current context.
Okay.
For example, let's say you work in logistics for a manufacturing company. You could explore ways to optimize transportation routes to reduce fuel consumption and emissions.
Right.
Or you could research and advocate for the use of more sustainable packaging materials. Even small changes can make a difference, and demonstrating that initiative can make you stand out to potential employers.
It's like adding those green badges to your resume. It shows initiative and a willingness to learn and adapt, but beyond just the resume.
Yeah.
The whole conversation makes me think the green transition isn't just about creating jobs.
Right.
It's about creating a more equitable and sustainable future for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about ensuring everyone has the opportunity to participate in and benefit from the transition to a green economy.
Wow.
That means addressing existing inequalities and ensuring green skills development programs are accessible to all.
So it's about creating a future where everyone has the skills and opportunities to thrive in a world that's both green and just.
Exactly. And that's a future worth striving for.
Couldn't agree more. Now we've covered a lot here, but there's still so much more to explore. The LinkedIn report provides a great overview, but it really just scratches the surface of this complex and fascinating topic. For our listeners who are ready to go even deeper, we highly recommend checking out the full LinkedIn report.
Absolutely.
It's packed with insights and data,
Yeah.
and you can find it right on their website. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
You talked about how this whole green transition isn't just about specific job titles,
Right.
but a broader set of skills and mindsets, right?
Absolutely. That's where the concept of green skills comes in.
Okay.
These are the skills and knowledge you need to work effectively in a sustainable economy, regardless of your specific job title.
So it's less about being a solar panel installer or wind turbine technician, and more about understanding those bigger sustainability principles
Exactly.
and how they can be applied in different contexts.
Yeah.
What are some concrete examples of what those green skills look like in action?
Well, think about systems thinking, for example. That's the ability to understand the interconnectedness of environmental, social, and economic systems. It's about seeing the bigger picture and understanding how different parts of a system interact and influence each other.
Right.
Then there's data analysis,
Okay.
which is becoming increasingly important for measuring and tracking sustainability progress. And of course, problem solving and critical thinking skills are absolutely essential for navigating the complexities of the green transition.
So it's a blend of technical knowledge,
Yeah.
analytical skills, and that big picture perspective.
Exactly.
It sounds like these green skills would be valuable even outside of what we traditionally think of as green industries.
You're absolutely right. I'd argue that these skills are becoming essential across almost every sector.
Yeah.
Businesses are facing growing pressure from consumers, investors, and even regulators to become more sustainable.
Right.
They need people who can help them navigate this shift
Yeah.
and integrate sustainability into their operations, their products, their entire business model.
It's like sustainability is becoming a core competency for success in the modern business world.
Yeah.
So even if you're not planning on becoming a sustainability consultant or working for a renewable energy company,
Right.
having those green skills could give you a competitive edge in the job market.
Exactly. Employers are looking for individuals who can help them adapt and thrive in this changing world.
Yeah.
And it's not just about landing a job. It's also about being a responsible citizen and contributing to a better future.
I love that it's about empowering individuals to make a difference, regardless of their profession or career path.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the green skills gap,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the demand for green talent,
Yeah.
the need for more education and training, and the importance of acquiring those valuable green skills. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the challenge.
Right.
What can one person realistically do to make a difference in all of this?
That's a great question, and it's one that I think a lot of people grapple with.
Yeah.
It's true, the green transition is a massive, complex undertaking,
Uh-huh.
and it can feel daunting. But here's the thing.
Right.
Every individual has the power to contribute. It starts with a simple question.
Okay.
What unique skills or knowledge can you bring to this evolving landscape?
Okay.
The green transition needs diverse perspectives and talents, so don't underestimate your potential contribution.
It's a great point. We all have something to offer.
Yeah.
Whether it's our technical expertise, our creative problem-solving abilities, our communication skills, or even just our passion for sustainability.
Exactly. It's about identifying your strengths and finding ways to apply them to the challenges and opportunities of the green transition. Maybe you're a software developer who can create innovative solutions for renewable energy integration.
Right.
Or maybe you're a teacher who can inspire the next generation of green leaders.
Ah.
Or maybe you're simply a concerned citizen who's willing to speak up and advocate for change in your community.
Right.
Every action, no matter how small, can make a difference.
It's inspiring to think about all the different ways people can contribute. It's about finding your own unique way to be a part of this collective effort. And who knows, maybe you'll even discover a whole new passion or career path along the way.
Absolutely.
So to our listeners out there, we encourage you to explore the full LinkedIn report. Think critically about your own role in the green transition and never underestimate your potential to make a positive impact on the world.
The green transition isn't just about jobs and the economy. It's about building a better future for everyone.
Well said. That's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of the ideas shaping our world.
Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing for a more sustainable future.